Welcome back. The days ain't going by any faster, believe me. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout. Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Behind the laugh, however.
So tell me, what do you need? Nope, don't smoke. Some of the other drivers do, though. There's still a few around.
Yup, nothing wrong with that statement. Your senses have nothing to add.
You could also check the kiosk down the street. Frit. Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. The bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up. Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on. Some pretty wild stuff. I've heard talk there's a... They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching. Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the exam.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries. A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal fire.
Time to arrest him.
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul of found cargo. They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il-Moran market lately. Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment.
Never. They would never illegalize sport. Sport is the most...
This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery? Neat. For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he's spent.
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the
There's no denying it. Your body needs the man. Taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. But those days are behind me.
Just be straight with him.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from...
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration. Gotta guard the stuff. Bosses don't look kindly on missing...
Working on these rhymes clearly leads to muscular atrophy.
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions. Don't be a stranger. Still here, stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
In his eyes, an unfamiliar longing. It's hard to say. His gaze, the road continues for miles, flowing together with other roads, turning into causeways or bridges above the Jamrock Quarter in the form of a raised motorway, and then to the old south, to the farthest outskirts of Revachol, through the checkered fields of farmland you cannot see. It's out of the city. Up ahead, the mist blocks.
Excuse me? There are things even a cop. I miss my family. They're all I have. My wife, second kid on the aura of the seven seas. It's on the other end of Le Caillou, pretty much, on another island called Laurentide, off mainland. What's it like? Good. And bad. An ache that brings you joy. I think of them a lot. What about you?
Is that what it is? This feeling? No, it's scarier than that. You're pursued by a hunter, smelling of apricots and sorrow.
You lost your gun. Oh man. But, thanks for this. It's nice to talk to someone. And I know it wasn't easy to ask. I hope you find your way through your own.
Life? I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me...
Have you no shame? Whining about your back.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup.
Look, in his hand, going in.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't... No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game. You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory. The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it. Already your muscles are adjusting to the weight. The nervous system calibrates. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, an embodiment of pure motion. Behold the fear and confusion reflected in... Some would still say you're a cop, but I guess we're beyond that now.
Merde! Bordel de merde! What the hell is your problem? You vandalized our game, son! We can't play pétanque with 5 bull! No, you don't! Our pétanque game...
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug! You are as a goddamn bull! Will this... No!
Thank you, officer. This is really something. Honestly, I think it's better than our old...
Mon Dieu.
Just talk. It'll smooth things over. Old people like attention.
Ah, yes! King Philip the...
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant.
Cocaine? Cocainum? Sounds like our...
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king, decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something. A nation is only as strong as it...
Don't get started on that again. What happened?
The carabiner doesn't reply. But no one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform. It's a symbol for him.
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility? That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine, for clarity of vision, to aid in their work. Regnum cocaine.
I'm satisfied with this explanation.
Of course. Clarity of vision.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she...
Higher realms. Of course, it all...
It's really not. Please, do spare us the...
Yes, indeed. We're not here to investigate the drug trade.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualm. In Martinez, the union is the law. Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you.
This is a man with a lot of past, but little present.
Yes. The terrain... no. It was...
Heavy artillery fire, you say?
Why what? Because that's what happens when communists hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentiment. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first. Yes, the military coordinated
He finds your lack of historic knowledge troubling.
Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris, and this here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely...
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hang...
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but... the enemy of... Damn right, son. They lit the fire of hell. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the...
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players at the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think? I'm sorry it had to be them. After it, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned to Revachol.
This royal failure.
Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon sight. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace. Damn Frissel. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. A true king in both blood and mind led Revachol before Frissel. He would have been better, but the suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already?
Soon, they will forget everything.
It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand, it's a Belle McGrave, 4.46 caliber. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her? I understand. Unfortunately, I don't know what else to tell you. These PMs are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find.
I have really outdone my...
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston.
René, it's... Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day? I'm sorry, officer, but I really...
The only one you...
Suddenly you realize how hungry you are. The last time you ate must have been...
Oh, that's good. That's very good. You must have other business then? Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really. No, officers, I'm sorry.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with...
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always...
Respect!
I'm not.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I told...
Gymnasium. I love that word.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years.
The old soldier mumbles something under his...
Let's try not to get caught in the crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. Oh, yes. Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card. But Evrard keeps me on the payroll.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I hate the socialist rabble. But even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence.
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he need... Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just a say...
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple.
No, thank you.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right? Cracked it. All in a good day's work. What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is. Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman, there's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing, and I specifically added that I didn't need... Very well then. Where is he? Excuse me?
There's something else hiding in her voice though. A trace.
Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what? You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although I did, and he is. No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. I haven't seen him for... Well...
There. She's worried now.
I wouldn't be so sure. Man, just to be completely...
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to chase down local goofballs.
They are not all they're cracked up to be, because people either show up on their own, or you never find them. I'd say there's nothing mysterious about...
You're wrong there. Incompleteness is the essence.
Alright then.
What kind of questions? Honestly, not that different from you. Oh, thank God, no. It hasn't come down to this. Well, he's...
Wait. Did she just imply that you're fat? You're not fat. The body type she's
What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. It's his cool jacket. God knows it. I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it? Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or...
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again.
She turns away from you.
So you are...
She genuinely wants you to now. Don't make her ask.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by...
She tries to maintain a...
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Prison feel...
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
The barbell waits patiently. You see a heavy steel door. The door does a challenge. The steel doesn't even tremble. Now you're hanging from the handle. Okay, it was a challenge, and you failed. The cobalt blues. The door challenge. You're right. The door. The woman is still hunched over.
Huh? What is it? What?
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Just like that, instinct took over. A solid strike straight into his throat. The man is reeling, gasping for air. All you hear is a small gurgling sound as a trickle of blood appears on the man's lip. Don't wait. You've only got a millisecond. That fighting pose. Watch out. He's expecting the hook. The man lands with a dull thump, like a broken down puppet of muscles and sinew. For a moment, he still tries to keep his head up, dazed eyes looking at you with unimaginable surprise. To your left is the button. As you slam your fist on the button, the man collapses.
Looks like you're the new measurehead now.
Her voice is surprising.
No one is the new measurehead. Let's go.
front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel from the sides of his head, because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural, a shameful way to treat a former king. Even because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. After rifling the magazine is divided into several sections. International Development, Comrade. As you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many public. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing. You flip back to the front of the magazine. So please, if you...
What do you expect? It was laying around the...
You flip back to the front of the magazine. This section includes a long, tedious critique. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border. Face it, you really aren't interested in... You flip back to the front. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of... The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A. Made all the brief... That certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you. The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but if you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships and obscene death toll. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships. And then there's the practically criminal. Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Thus, the so-called tournée becomes a competition between... And that precisely is what's problematic about it. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real. Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, that's because you haven't been reading critically. But don't...
Come on. Can this article read your mind? A certain kind of young man reads 1 or 2 books and suddenly thinks he understands. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with... You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation. Why do communists love puerile insults? You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of... What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez. The air suddenly feels calmer, more transparent in the street. It's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. I knew we could trust you. Remember, real democracy is just around the... On second glance, someone has...
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave...
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. Inside, hundreds of documents containing logistical data. 2 kinds and the same materials being handed over to companies inside. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry. Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there? Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery.
The drawer slides shut. An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to..." The already familiar cold touch of the machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. It's unclear. The machine swallows your coin and seems it's unclear. The machine swallows your coin. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the calling. Calling. Still calling.
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. How may I help you? Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film. Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent... No. Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? Raphael, what? Listen, I can't help you over the phone. If you need further assistance, you can...
He thinks you're pulling a prank. On the corner of Voyager and Main, a large neon sign hangs on the side of a building. Tiny heels tiptoeing down the road. Suddenly, you feel like you don't want to hear about video rentals anymore. You don't want to hear about it.
That's enough for you today. Let's conclude this call.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the road. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Yes, it does bear the RCM instinct. The service cloak issued to you by your station.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours. bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really well. They went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles of
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. It really doesn't.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
If you must. But please hurry, we are pretty...
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and there's sparse content. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, René, is dressed in a... René looks like he's about to smile.
Why did you take that picture of René? You're really interested in that old soldier. Not sure I understand your fascination.
This is the night what? Control panel with several knobs, 2 buttons marked Marche and Marche. On, Arrête, off. Rusting control marsh. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. And, with a surprisingly, this crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. Who can say?
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
No screech of metal when you push the button this time, only silent. Before you stands a cargo container.
You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? It's a cargo container. We're not here to interact with containers. We are here...
No reply. You attempt to turn the handle. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions. with some puzzlement.
Yes?
You're back before the cargo container. It's a rust in control. The crane does not return to its original position. It does not.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard. He looks after everyone.
the look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scab. Oh yes, born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then. Too old to. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes I am, yes I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them. Sure, mister. About what? Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the sky. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have.
So no one is
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, but Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation for a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
No, I don't think they killed anyone. Let's better talk about something else. Titus and his boys do good work. I don't want to get them in. Yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
a real pretty lady with a skin like those douce sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here, and I'm...
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
Oh, Lizzie, she is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some but she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood.
For a fraction of a second,
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy. Dr. Lemaitre said so. And she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are all...
The white rectangle on your clothes might not mean an awful lot in Martinez, but the recognition from an authority figure.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know.
Told you.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez...
Patience. Deep down you have the mental power to keep listening.
Had an arithmetics teacher, Miss Bellows. Her real name was... All the boys liked her, if you know what I mean, mister. We used to sneak in her yard in the dark and peek through the window. One time we saw Miss Bellows with a fellow. Them was naked too. That's all I got to say about that. Thank you. Almost forgot. Mr. Everett is in that container over there. I got distracted telling the story, but he's in there. Bye-bye now.